50 by Representatives DeGraff and Bacon concerning procedures relating to state action resulting in the relinquishment of private property and in connection therewith making an appropriation.
Representative AML Bacon.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
The wells are swelling.
Now I'm nervous.
Who's somebody out there? Please take a picture of it. Thank you, Madam Chair. I mean it. Representative Mabry. He's not even listening. Thank you, Madam Chair. I move House Bill 1250 and the Appropriations Committee report, the Finance Committee report, and the Judiciary Committee report, because we had to go to every committee in the House to get a bill passed by Ken DeGraff and Jennifer Bacon.
All right, we'll start with the Appropriations report. AML Bacon.
Okay. The Appropriations Committee report, we made some adjustments to include staff for DOLA. Hold on one second. Ready? Like this, like this. Okay.
You want the finger? Shall we give you the finger?
Should we give you the bacon finger or the love? I can't. Okay. And with that, Madam Chair, we ask for an aye vote.
All right, further discussion on the Appropriations Committee report. Seeing none, the question before us is adoption of the Appropriations report to House Bill 1250. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The committee report is adopted. To the Finance report.
I ought to have it.
AML Bacon.
You want to go ahead?
On the amendments?
This is Finance report.
Go
To
ahead.
the Finance
All
report.
right. I would like to know that out of appropriations was unanimous, just like out of finance. So thank you all for coming down to speak. In finance, we made some adjustments to be sure that we were clear on the actual legal counsel, right? Who would be able to provide some help for indigent asset forfeiture defendants. And with that, we ask for an aye vote.
Okay. Further discussion on the Finance. All right, Representative Brooks.
Oh, what is this slow walk? Okay.
To the
Thank you,
Finance
Chair.
report. All right.
As a member of the Finance Committee, I thought it would be appropriate for me to come up and comment on the bill.
All right, Representative Hartsook.
Good evening. Thank you, Madam Chair. Members. No comments. Members, this bill went through several committees, and when it hit the Finance Committee, it was interesting. We all took a big dive in that Olympic-sized swimming pool. The question is who was going to come to the surface, because there's the great gnashing of teeth. Many of us went out in the hallway and had a long debate. And there was compromises made. Everyone gave. In all seriousness, I would like to tip my hat to AML over here, who was instrumental in bringing together several folks. But in this bill, it looked like it wasn't going to pass. And I'm being serious. We had a lot of consternation over it. But we got everybody with the sponsors out there, and very thankful that the sponsors came out. We sat down. We got some amendments that we ran through in finance. Now, that was a rather monolithic lift. I will tell you that. We weren't sure that we were going to get through there. But we sat and we debated out in the hallway, way more than we ever debated in the committee, to get this thing accomplished. And so when we went into the committee, we had it to a point to where we had all parties had to give in a little bit, and everybody got a little bit, and they all came away going, okay, we are at a winning situation. And with that, Madam Chair, I would urge an aye vote on the Finance Committee report.
Right. Representative Martinez.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Doesn't go any lower. All right. Members, I just want to say that this bill, looking at House Bill 1250, what do we always say down here? Any piece of legislation that comes out of this building, everything it says it is, it ain't. All right? So we really need to look at House Bill 1250 and really see what's in this and what the purpose of this bill is. We're looking at all of our tax-paying widgets over here, and that's what we're doing. But are we really getting to the crux of civil asset forfeiture? And why is the government involved in civil asset forfeiture? Oh, I do need to get notes. Hold on. Oh, thank you. Thank you. So, check that one off. This civil asset forfeiture cesspool over here, let me tell you. So, I'm going to request an aye vote on House Bill 1250 for the tax-paying widgets of Colorado.
Representative Brown.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We, the tax-paying widgets of Colorado, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, and in the 20 Olympic-sized swimming pools with 2 drops or something like that, I know that there's a nanny state in there somewhere, and therefore I would ask for an aye vote on this bill.
Representative Valdez.
Well, as they say, the road to hell is paved with good intentions.
Watch your
Cal
language,
Colorado.
Representative Valdez.
Cal Colorado, squeezing us in. This is communism.
Representative Flannel.
Members, I'm still a no on this bill. It's crap. No, I'm kidding. I had something written up, but I will just say that I appreciate the sponsors working with everyone, all of the amendments that you made. It's great to see that everybody comes in the middle. I will be a yes vote. And yeah, good job. Are you crying? You crying? Get the good colleague from El Paso County a tissue.
Representative Barron.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to come up here and say civil asset forfeiture, good bill. And I will go back over there to my seat, sit down, shut up, and color.
Representative Soper.
Merci, Madam Chair. We the people. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. There's nothing more permanent than a temporary government program that's now permanent. We need to dive in a bit deeper into the issues here. There's 3 drops in 30 Olympic-sized swimming pools that we've not considered by making this change. This is unconstitutional. The consent of the governed was not granted. Our founding fathers are rolling in their graves. And the cesspool that's being created, it's getting bigger. But these tax-paying widgets of Colorado, they're now going to be paying less and having their stuff taken away. So I will be a yes vote.
Representative Tatone.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, Chair. We have to be the best arbiters for the tax-paying widgets. The arbiters of them. And I would urge a yes vote.
Representative Kelty.
There's only one Representative Kelty. Just saying. But I do want to thank the sponsors and everyone involved in working on this bill. I'm not funny, so I'm just going to talk. So y'all just going to have to listen. But this bill went through a lot of contention, a lot of ups and downs, a lot of back and forth, and you know, I was originally concerned, but I think with the hard work that was done, getting this bill to where, you know, we all believe, you know, everyone who's innocent should get their property back and everything, and we firmly believe in the Constitution. There was just the issue with the funding. And, you know, I have to, you know, thank our assistant minority leader for working as hard as he did with the sponsors and everybody else and getting the job done. And now it's at a bill that I can absolutely 100% stand behind, and I'm a happy yes. Thank you.
Representative Wilford.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Listen up, tax-paying widgets of Colorado. I rise today not as a legislator, but as a survivor of algebra. Because somewhere between committee hearings, fiscal notes, and 147 unread emails, I found myself staring at this equation. Now, I don't know what it means, but I assume it's either advanced calculus or the formula Excel uses to calculate our utility bills. See, climate, I worked it in there. Olympic-sized swimming pools. And honestly, the longer I looked at it, the more it started to resemble the state budget. You've got imaginary numbers, limits approaching infinity, things should be divided that never should have been divided in the first place, but anyway, they were still divided, and I'm asking why. At one point, I whispered, "Pete must save me," and a lobbyist appeared behind me like Beetlejuice, but math does teach us something important.
Representative Wilford, can you come back to the bill?
I am speaking to the bill, Madam Chair. Madam Speaker.
Are you sure?
For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction, which explains why every time I file a bill, I receive exactly 43 angry emails from men named Doug. So today, let us solve a loan for X, and by X, I mean why the printer on the third floor still doesn't work. Thank you, Madam Chair, and may God bless the mathematicians, because the rest of us are just pretending, but I truly do implore you to get the boot off our necks and let the math.
Representative Richardson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I will be brief. This bill did start somewhere far from where it wound up, and I'm glad I wasn't on any of the committees that got it here. But in reviewing it, I am happy to see that hellhounds and demon weasels were consulted, and they do agree this is a very good bill. Vote yes.
Further discussion on the bill? Right. Oh, pardon me. Here we are. Thank you. I'm so distracted by all of our roasting here. All right. Any further discussion on the finance report? Seeing none, the question before us is adoption of the Finance Committee report to House Bill 1250. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, no.
Really, though? You voted for it.
The ayes have it. The Finance Committee report is adopted. To the Judiciary Committee report. To the Judiciary Committee report.
I was wondering if I was going to get Garcia this year.
Representative
I move the Judiciary report to House Bill 1250.
It has been moved already.
Has been moved. I asked for an aye vote on the Judiciary report. How's that?
All right. Representative Garcia.
I never come up here, so.
No. Okay. All right. Further discussion on the Judiciary report.
I am asking for an aye vote on the Judiciary report. Have an amendment.
We are on the Judiciary Committee report.
Oh, wait, I have an amendment to the Judiciary bill.
We passed the committee report yet. All right, let's pass the committee report.
All right, move your amendment to the Judiciary report, Representative DeGraff.
Okay, never mind, I have an amendment.
All right, AML Bacon.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move L25 to the Judiciary Committee report and ask that it be displayed.
All right, give us a moment.
I know, Owen was like.
Don't make me do all that work.
All right, to the amendment.
Okay, so after going to 3 committees, we still have a little bit of work to do. This comes at the request of DOLA this comes at the request of the Judicial in regards to the reporting that is needed for the folks who are going to help out those who are being represented by legal aid. And with that, we ask for an aye vote.
All right, is there any further discussion on the amendment? All right, seeing none, the question before us is adoption of L25 to the committee report. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The committee report, the amendment to the committee report is adopted. Now back to the committee report.
Right.
I move
This is to
this
the
is
bill.
the bill. I move the Judicial Committee report as amended for House Bill 1250 and ask for an aye vote.
Okay, any further discussion on the Judiciary Committee report? Seeing none, the question before us is adoption of, or is passage of the Judiciary Committee report as amended. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The Judiciary Committee report as amended is adopted. Now we're to the bill. Representative DeGraff.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move L024 to House Bill 1250 and ask that it be displayed.
Okay, just a moment. To the amendment, Representative DeGraff.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The crux of this was working with the district attorneys, and in this case, we decided to move back to the original language for the stay after a conviction. Because only, when looking at the statistics, less than 1% of any convictions are overturned in appeal. So so we moved it back to the original language and made sure that there were programs in place to backfill, to support, ensure that anybody was made whole that went through that unlikely event. So I ask for an aye vote.
Further discussion on the amendment. Seeing none, the question before us is adoption of L24 to House Bill to House Bill 1250. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The amendment passes or is adopted. To the bill. Further discussion on the bill. Representative.
Thank you, Madam Chair. On behalf of the CACP DA Social Committee, because nothing brings the DAs and CACP together like DeGraff and Bacon on a bill. That fills the lobby. But seriously, CAF, civil asset forfeiture, is an application of colonial maritime law that has some questionable, and so that's what we're dealing with. So we wanted to make sure that crime doesn't pay while ensuring that due process and is followed before any deprivation of property. So I ask for an aye vote.
AML Bacon.
Thank you. I really thought he could do an impression of me, and I would do an impression of you.
Oh.
What's your impression of me? Never mind. Thank you, members. For those of you who want to know what this bill is actually about, at the end of the day, we have a procedure where folks' property can be taken by law enforcement, and the original law said if they believed it was tied to an underlying crime. So what our bill does is saying, if you want to take the property because you believe it's tied to an underlying crime, you have to prove that a crime happened first with the conviction. And given all of the committees that we have gone to and all of the amendments, what the bill now is that statement along with the creation of a fund to help folks whose property was seized to potentially defend themselves and get their property back. In Colorado, the mean amount that is taken is around $2,500. And what we heard in committee and judiciary is that about 90% of people don't even show up at the proceeding to try to get their things back. And so at the end of the day, what we know is from the proceedings, or from the proceeds, if you will, of the property, that money can go back into the coffers of law enforcement, which to us, and the reason why both of us are on this bill is because we do believe in America. We do believe in our Constitution. Even though there's not a boot on anyone's neck or we're not jumping into swimming pools, we do believe that there should be due process. There you go. Due process, particularly when you are taking a property that has the utmost procedures. And so if proceeds are going to be made from our property, it should at least go back to people to have the opportunity to get their stuff back rather than to put money back into coffers of law enforcement, thereby disincentivizing the taking.
Any further discussion on the bill? All right.
Yes. There is further discussion.
Okay.
Sorry.
Continue.
Okay. And so we'd like to just demonstrate that sometimes you can reach into the far corners of either side of the aisle and find some good old-fashioned American synergy. And I ask for a yee-haw yes, and I do believe there might be more discussion. Okay.
Representative Soper.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I believe not everyone's read the bill, so I request that the bill be read at length. Just kidding. I withdraw that request. But we do move that the bill be referred back to State Affairs. Yeah. And I also withdraw that request. I just wanted to make sure it had a proper vetting. But it looks like my colleague would like to speak.
Representative Luck.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So, knowing the bill sponsors, I must confess to being a bit disheartened, surprised that this wasn't more thoroughly reviewed and all of the issues weren't completely addressed. This has been, I would say, a labor of love for months now, keeping these folks busy on the floor, off the floor, probably even in their dreams. And so, like I said, I was quite surprised to see that they missed something so blaringly obvious. But as a good colleague and as someone who wants to make sure that this policy passes in its best form, I feel like I am here to help fill that gap. Therefore, I move Amendment L29, which, I mean, how many bills have 29 amendments? Like, you guys haven't done that much work, and ask that it be displayed.
Just a moment. Continue, Representative Luck.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think that we should properly name the things that we do. And so this amendment would name this act the Restoring Funds to the Taxpaying Widgets of Colorado Act. I ask for an aye vote.
Representative Graff, to the amendment.
To the amendment. Sure, to the amendment. Yeah, I think anytime that we have an opportunity to represent and really adhere to the rights of the tax-paying widgets of Colorado, we should do that. So I'm a definite yes on this. I appreciate the sponsor bringing that, and I look forward to seeing how this reads in the CRS.
AML Bacon.
Just to be sure we can recognize the natural order of things, I'm going to request a no vote.
Representative Martinez.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I rise in strong support of this amendment and my good colleague from Penrose for bringing it. And you know, I think to close the division in this chamber, I think it would really be apt to call division on this. Just kidding. I withdraw the division vote on this amendment.
All right, Representative Soper.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm actually going to rise in opposition to this amendment, and that's mainly because it's important to understand what we're talking about with civil asset forfeiture. So if you go back to Old English law, they referred to it as guilty property. So if it was, for example, a pirate ship that was engaged in robbery at sea, the entire ship could actually be taken and sold, or if it was the actual proceeds of the crime itself. And so that's why, you know, restoring funds to the taxpaying widgets of Colorado is a little bit inaccurate, because that may not necessarily be true, because the individual may have actually been engaged in a criminal conduct in which the property itself took on what the Old English common law said was guilty property.
Representative Luck.
Thank you, Madam Chair. That got serious quick.
Further discussion on the, really, we're going to vote on this? Really? All right. Seeing no further discussion on this amendment, all those in favor say aye. All right, a division has been called. All right, that motion is withdrawn. All right, we're still to the amendment. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, no. Woo. All right, the noes have it. That amendment fails. We are back to the bill. Further discussion on the bill. Oh.
Good bill, vote
Yeah,
yes.
that one failed. All right, back to the bill.
Good bill, vote yes.
Further discussion on the bill. All right, seeing none, the question before us is passage of House Bill 1250 as amended. All those in favor give us a yeehaw, yes, I think is what the AML requested. So all those in favor, a yeehaw, yes. Yeehaw! All those opposed, no. The yeehaw yeses have it. House Bill 1250 as amended passes.